Again, welcome to PH 775, Public Health Geographic Information Systems. So this will be our second lab, and the main objective of this lab is to explore the QGIS interface, also the data models, and also the data types. In our previous lab work, again, we learned what is QGIS, how to download it and install in our computer. And then we went through the John Snow collar depth data set. We map it. So as we said earlier, the first thing, we opened the John Snow map, which is a short map of Soho, London. Then the second, we open our collar depth data. Then again, we create the heat map, basically to locate where most cases are. We also include the pump locations. And those data, again, are point data. So here we'll go more details to know the difference between vector and raster. And also we're going to explore 3 different types of vector data sets. So now, before we start this, we make sure we went through the M1T1, which is our first lab. So in this second lab, the data we are going to use is in M1T2. So it's in the same location as M1T1. Again, go back to week 9. We can see we have the, again, M1T1. We also have the M1T3, and it's included M1T2 also inside. So these 3 files, again, we do all the work for us. So let's go back to the first thing we need to do. Again, I'm going to follow step by step since this is something we are learning for the first time. So the first thing they told us here, we should retrieve our QGIS from our last tutorial. So that's why I said we have M1T1, we have to complete that first. So we are going to retrieve QGIS from the last tutorial and open the application again. Then in the menu bar, we click on the project and select new. This is to get a new file or new project. Then identify all the element below in the interface. So for example, what is a menu bar, etc. So let me start my program first. So the first thing, we're going to go through the names. So for example, we have the menu bar, which provide access to QGIS functionalities. Then we have the toolbars that are customized and also give access to tools. Then we have the map view display. We also have the navigation area. We also have the layers area. So when we start our program, the recent project that I use is right here in case I want to continue with any of them. On my right side, as we said, always we may have some news about the software or in general. Now, this is our menu. So each menu bar section, we have some command to perform. So if my command is related to a project, for example, to create a new project or open an existing project or save it, etc., it's right here. And we may go through some of this as time goes on. Then also we have the toolbars or the command buttons also. And also the command buttons. Then on my left side here, we have what we call the layers. The layers normally would display all the files that are open. So for example, right now, there's nothing. I don't have any file open, so there's nothing. And also we have the browser. I would say the browser is the navigation section. This tell me I can go to my C drive from here and then locate any file in my computer. If I have a flash drive, I may see the drive also. So for example, I have my E drive, flash drive, I can see it here. So that will be the browser place to locate any file you have in your computer. Layers is very important. Now it's up to you. You can move the layers down or up. I always prefer to leave my up, but if you click on it, you can drag it out and bring if you want the browsers to be up, you can bring the browsers up. You can also resize it if you think it's too small, too big. You can resize it. Again, I can move it down again. It's up to me. But now I'm going to leave a browser up. So let's see what they wanted, the slides want us to do. The PDF file. So here, basically, we go through the, and also as any, even Microsoft applications, we all know the status bar is always at the bottom here. Tell you what files are open, the status, etc. Because again, they mention the status, that's why. For example, here they say the status bar shows information about the current map. Now, first we start with the base map. So here we say you are now going to add a base map. A base map provides a context for other layers you choose to overlay on the map. So QGIS provides an OpenStreetMap base map for you to use in your project. This is something we didn't create, this OpenStreetMap. Again, QGIS gives us. So if I click on it, I'll go to the section of the browser again, and I'll look for XYZ. So on the XYZ section, I can see I have the OpenStreetMap. That's what they want us to open. And then so OpenStreetMap. So after that, okay, we're going to put it in our main area, working area. So let's go back. And again, we can resize it, but let's leave it as it is. Then go back to our hands-on. So next, we will start with the vector data model. So the first vector type of data will be the point. So here I'll go to the open source manager. This is a file that I already have. It's in my M1T2. And the file name is hospital locations. So I'll go back here and I'll click on open, and it should be M1T2. And I'll go to the data, and it's hospital locations. So I'll click on this. Now we'll close it. Now, anytime you open the file, look at the layers. So now you can see we have hospital locations. Actually, I open it twice. Let me take one off. Then we have our OpenStreetMap. This is our, as we said, always we should have some map where the data will be on it. I think this hospital location is in, I'm going to right click again and then zoom to layer. So it's in Australia. So we can see how it looks. So this will be, each point is a specific hospital. And this location is some city in Australia. So that's how it was before. Now they say since the data refers to Australia, it is not showing clearly because the map we have here is the world map. And we can see that it's in Australia area, very small. So we right click on the hospital location layer. That's on the right side, the layer section. Right click on it. Then we choose zoom to layer. And I did that already. And we saw our file look something like this. So now we can right click on hospital locations and select properties. Then here we want to know what type of data. As we said, it should be a point data because it's locations. So if I want to know the type of data, right click on hospital locations, go to properties. Then we click on information. Then we look at the geometry. This is a point. These are the properties about the data, the name, the size, location, where it stayed, when it was modified, etc., the date. So I'm going to close this. Then let's go back to our. So here they told the geometry is a point data. So we close it. Then we're going to right click on it and go to the open attribute table. So here we want to see the data that is related to the hospital locations. So I'm going to right click, then click open attribute table. And here we can see that this looks like a real data than the previous example file. So here we can see hospitals, the hospital name, the labor name, the operation name, the type of hospital, whether it's private or public, the address of the hospital, the street number, the road name, road type, zip code, etc. So this information is about each hospital. And let's keep going. We have a lot of them to reach somewhere around 325 hospitals in the Australia location. So again, we are not going to do anything yet about this data, so I'm going to close it. But anytime we want to see information, so here the only thing we see is dots. We don't know what the dots stand for. So if we right click on it, surely, and go to open attribute table, we may know what each dot represents. In this case, represent an hospital. And we have the attribute of the hospital, such as the address, the name, type of hospital, etc. Now let's go to the next thing we need to do. So now we finish with the point data type, which is the vector point. Now we want to go to the line data type. So we go to same data source manager. We are going to open the data source manager. And that will be the public transport lines. So let's do that. And later the same thing, we are going to zoom to layer to see it. Then later maybe we're going to open the attribute also. Now first we will check the properties. Then that's it. But let's check the attribute also. Actually, this is the attribute. So let's go to our. So first, again, I'm going to the open again source manager. And this time we are looking for transport. This is public transport. Click on it. And they told us the public transport lines. Double click on it. And then we are going to close it. So here we can't see it well, but again, if we right click and we click zoom to layers, we may see the lines. So now we can see the lines between the hospitals. Now these lines can be between one hospital to another, or from basically the map of the city or the country where the location is. Now, another option which we will do is to know the type of data is that is. So we're going to open the attribute table. Here, the line is just a bus. So it's like a bus stop, a bus lane or bus lines from one bus to another. So I'm going to close it. And we already again zoom it. So let's see what we need to do next. I think that's it. So now let's go to the last one, which is the polygon data type for vector. So here we have the data already, and the data name is LGA profiles. So I'll open the source manager again, and I'm looking for LGA profile, and I'm going to double click and open it and close this. So we can see, as we say, polygon normally is a region. So we can see how the area is again shaded. So we can go to zoom to layers and maybe we can see it more better. The same thing, we can also check the property, and then we go to information. Information is already selected. Then we go to the geometry. So this is a polygon type of data. Now the name, size, etc., everything is there. We can also do symbology and then do anything we want to do. But again, we're going to do all this in the future. The main goal here is to see the difference between vector files, both the point, line, and also the polygon. So let's go to the next step. We already open it. Okay, this is different color. We can also change the color if we want to. We went to the properties and they told us this is a polygon. And then we went where we didn't do. So let's see what type of data is that. So the same time as we did, right click on LGA profiles, then click on open attribute table, and it will tell us the attributes of this data set. So this data is about different area. For example, we have object ID, the LGA code, the name, and other informations, etc. For example, whether it's a rural area or population size in the area, etc. So now we're going to close the attribute table tab. We're also going to close the LGA. Then the next thing we're going to do is the raster data type. Again, raster data type. So let's see what data is this. So here they say you are now going to work with raster data. Now, as we said, the vector, we have the point, line, and also polygon. Point tell us specific location. Line can tell us from one location to another. For example, from bus stop to an hospital will be a line. Then polygon will tell us a region, an area. Now, with the raster, at the beginning of this tutorial, you added a base map already. That is, in fact, a raster data set. So a raster is more computer. So here they say we should right click on the open straight map, which we already opened before. And the map, again, that is a raster data set. So right click, and then we can zoom to layer, do all, but let's see what they want us to do. Also, we go to the properties, and we can see the name. It will say could not determine raster data type, the data type. So here we go back to right click, properties, information is selected, and the data type, it should tell us could not determine raster data type. But again, it's a raster data type. Then after that, we click OK. So we finish. That's a raster data type. Next, we do a plugins. Now, a plugins is a new functionality. For example, I'm using Excel and I want to do data analysis. Now, if I want to do data analysis features and it didn't come with Excel, we may have something like a plugin, which is a special program. When we add it to Excel, then we can do the application. Same thing with the QGIS. We download QGIS, but not all the functionalities we downloaded. So anytime we want to download a new functionality that we want to do something, we can, that's what is called the plugins. So here they say you are now going to add the plugin to QGIS. QGIS plugins will add additional functionality to the QGIS application. So the first thing we need to do is select the plugins menu in the menu bar. Then we are going to choose manage and install plugins. And let's see what plugin they want us to install. We're going to install Quick Map Services, but there are so many of them. We can decide to do any one. So first, I'm going to close this, and I'll click on the plugins in the menu bar. Then they say we should manage and install. I want to store a new plugin, so I'll click manage and install. Now, these are all plugins, but I think we want to use Quick. It's like Quick. Let's see the name again. Yeah, Quick Map Services. So let's see, it should be this is in alphabetical order. So MNOQ, that's the QLab Quick Map Services. Should be QU. That's still okay. We're almost there now. Yeah, so that's it here. It's already, you can see that it's already checked, which means I already added it. So let's check it again. Then we click close. So now we have the Quick Map Service functionality. So here they say now that the plugin has been installed, you can access it on the toolbar as below. That will allow you to add different base maps in alternative to or complement the OpenStreetMap that we already have. So when we download the QGIS the first time, it comes with the OpenStreetMap. But now with the Quick Map services, we can get more options. So let's see if we can see the functionality. So that's the Quick Map service button. You should see it somewhere. Okay, it's right here. So when you click on this, it will give us a lot of options now. If you know what you want to look for, the searching, we can search for it. But here, let's see what they want us to do. No, here they already have. And I think that will be the conclusion. So here they say we should save it. I'm not going to save it. And that's it. So with the Quick Map service again, we click here. And then we can enter the new one. Yeah, I don't have the features here, but again, if I know what I'm looking for, I can go to search and then search for it. Or we can go down to new, type it in, etc. So I'm going to close this for now. So this will be the conclusion of our second lab work. Again, we are doing very basic things. It's getting used to the features. Here we learn about how the three different types of vector data are, the point, line, and the polygon. We also understand what a raster is, raster data in terms of QGIS. Example can be the map that we again started with. So that will be the conclusion for this exercise. And now we're going to move straight to the third exercise.